How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode in our Career Mode series, and welcome to your Saturday. I hope you all have a fantastic day. We're going to be doing today's episode a little bit differently, because in case you missed the last one, do go check it out, because I'm about to spoil it. If you haven't already clicked off the video right now, then I cannot be blamed. However, you guys will know we lost to Manchester United in terms of the double leg header against them for the Champions League semi-final. We were so close to reaching that final that it hurts, man. It really does. However, following that, we'd already secured the league title last episode as well, so I felt like today's episode was quite of a weird one because I didn't know what exactly to do. So I ended up playing the last game of the season against Manchester City after simming the last two there, and then we played this one before we moved into the new season. So you're only actually going to see gameplay from one game today, and that is this one right here against City. But let me tell you this right now. This is a humongous episode in terms of the caliber of this Brighton side. You are going to see some insane moves, some insane money being thrown around that I genuinely did not expect to have it at this stage. That is all I'm going to say to you guys right now. So make sure you stay tuned right until the end of the video, because it's going to become present. You guys will have a vote right now for you all to cast upon to decide who joins us at the beginning of the new season, and you'll see that later on. So if you don't want to spoil it, don't check out the I button yet. Check it out when it pops up later on in the video, because that will be a very, very big decision indeed. I can't wait for you to see just who it is involving. If you've already checked it out, then you spot it for yourself. So there we go. However, this game, as I said, against City, it meant literally nothing. It was just time to enjoy ourselves, enjoy the last game, see the season out at home at the Amex for our home fans, and just kind of, end off what has been a very, very good season. We've won the Premier League title in our second year of trying on ultimate difficulty. We've got through to a Champions League semi-final. We've won the Carabao Cup as well. So yeah, we had a great season, but it still is overshadowed by that defeat to Manchester United. It really is. And I feel like if we'd had a slightly better team defensively, maybe we would have reached that final. So that's going to be the priority. You'll see it coming later on today. However, one thing that's not set in stone is that right-back spot. Odriozola needs to step up for me. I feel like since we've brought him in, he's been okay, but he's not been world-class. And when you think about the side that we're trying to build here, Brighton, I expected him to come in and be absolutely quality for us. That hasn't happened. He was at fault for one of the Man City chances in this game here. And just in general, I don't know what it is. He sometimes gets a little bit complacent at the back, and you just can't do it in the Premier League. The Premier League is arguably one of the toughest leagues in world football, if not the toughest, right? Hence, if you are making too many mistakes or not remaining concentrated for 90 minutes of football, and you allow one opportunity for your opponents, then that is going to come back on you. So that's why we need these players to be top-class players. And although Odriozola has the quality to be that, recently, I just feel like he's playing a little bit silly in certain areas. But to be honest with you, like I said, this game had nothing riding on it. We didn't need to win it. It doesn't matter if we lost it. It was just about trying to see the season out, give the home fans something to shout about. And we actually scored the only goal of the game. Mario Balotelli, with about 2 or so minutes remaining, I think it was, in the 80-something minute. Or it might have been the 82nd it was, actually. But he scored anyway, from a header, from a corner. So I was quite happy to see him score, because that probably will be one of the last games that he starts for this club. Because as you guys know, we have Anthony Martial joining us next season, plus a load of money to spend coming up. So that sees out Season 2 of Career Mode here with Brighton. I don't fully know exactly what's to come in terms of whether or not we're going to be still here next year. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for us to potentially leave, and that's still going to be the case. But I'm deciding whether or not I want to leave now, the beginning of this new season. Obviously, it's about trying to wait for an offer as well, because we can't just leave. There'll be no clubs available. Or whether or not I want to see another season out, because I feel like if we build correctly and if we bring in the right players next season, that we are a shoo-in for a Champions League trophy. So, you know what I'm saying? I do genuinely believe that even if we don't go this year, that this coming season now will be the last one we spend at Brighton. I just feel like that is as far as we're going to take this Brighton side, and then we need to move on to our next project. But, yeah, in terms of right now, if we buy correctly at the beginning of next season, I feel that we are going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Champions League. Having already reached the semi-finals, I believe we'll go one step further and get ourselves through to the final. To show you, though, the winners of certain competitions, Europa League was won by Braga, surprisingly from Portugal. Credit to them. Didn't expect to see them lifting that trophy. And FC Bayern beat Manchester United in the Champions League final to lift that trophy as well. So we didn't actually lose to the eventual winners. We lost to the runners-up, but it's not too bad anyways. They are a tough force, our Bayern, and you'd expect it. In terms of the standings, though, winning the Premier League by 13 points ahead of Manchester United in second, obviously is very good. However, again, going back to my point, I feel like, yes, we won the Premier League, but I still had unfinished business in the Champions League itself. FA Cup was eventually won by Chelsea. Liverpool reaching the final after they had a horrendous start to Premier League life. Well, I say Premier League life, I mean this season, of course. They were in, 14th, 13th, and they've climbed themselves up to 8th in the Premier League. So it's no European football, but given the circumstances, a much better showing in the second half of the season for Liverpool. And they actually got the top scorer award. Sadio Mane hitting 16 in 32. Balotelli's fantastic start to his Brighton career somewhat squandered off towards the back end of the season. He had 9 in his first 12 or something like that, and he only ended up scoring 4 after that in the next sort of 20 games or so. So, yeah, shows you a little bit of a weak spot there. But nevertheless, that ended off Season 2, and we moved ourselves straight into Season 3. You can see straight away, as soon as the season began, there was a lot of massive deals going through. Benjamin Mendy joining Real Madrid. Manchester United moving for Stefan El Shaarawy after he's, of course, gone there because Anthony Martial, this man on your screen, has joined Brighton and Hove Albion on a free transfer from Manchester United, so they somewhat needed a replacement, but they haven't got a good deal there by any means. That is a horrific deal for them. Losing Martial and getting El Shaarawy is not what you'd expect from Manchester United. However, this is the budget for this season, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, guys. £151 million at Brighton and Hove Albion is sensational. So, coming into the season, I was thinking to myself, it's that thing of like a kid at Christmas. You know when you built yourself up so much to find out what you're going to get for Christmas, and then when you get there, you're just sort of dreaming about, I would do this if I got this much money, if I had this. But then you get there on the day, and you just don't know what to do, what present to open first. It was like that right here. I was not expecting to get £150 million, but I was genuinely at the back end of season 2 going, if I get over 100 million, I'm going to do this, this, this. But then when I saw 151, I was genuinely like, where on earth do we start in this one? Where do I even begin to bring in players? So, we got 2 offers here. One from Martin Montoya. I was quite happy to let him go, provided that this offer was right from Napoli. A £9.6 million or £9.3 million counter offer is what we sent their way. They accepted our counter, and we went ahead and negotiated terms for them to basically take him over to Napoli, in essence. And then after that, I saw an offer, actually, for Arthur. You remember, we picked up this little Brazilian mastermind from Barcelona for 40-something million pounds last season. They came back in, giving us a cheeky offer of 70 million. I went and negotiated, right? And you guys know I do this, because what I tend to do is I negotiate a fee, which it's ridiculous beyond belief, but if they accept it, I'm over here thinking to myself, yo, if you accept this, I'll be quite happy. So, saw that, I was like, nah, man, if you give us 110 million, you can have him. That's what I was thinking in my mind. You know, that is a profit of like 70 million pounds when you consider we purchased him for 40 odd. Then they came back and said 90. Again, though, I went back in and was like, that's not going to be good enough. If you don't give us anything over 100, you're not taking him pretty much. So 107.5 was then my counter. And they came back and said that they are willing to match that £107 million deal. Ladies and gentlemen, Arthur, formerly of Barcelona, is going back to Barcelona for a profit of £67 million on our side. That is ridiculous. In literally a season, if not even that, we've made over £67 million on Arthur. Yes, he's going to be a big miss. But then I looked at this and I thought to myself, the one thing that I really, really get frustrated with is the fact that sometimes I feel like my midfield or my defence just aren't tall enough. I sometimes get out-muscled, out-strengthed. And with Arthur being that sort of height, 5'8" he stands at, I felt like, yeah, he's great for, like, you know, tiki-taka football, but when you need the physicality in there, 107.5 million, could we really go wrong? I don't know. I'm going to let you guys decide that in the comments section. Whether or not you think that was a great bit of business from us or not, whether you think we should have held on to him or not, I'll let you guys decide that. But all I'm saying is, that sale right there took our overall balance of transfer funding to 250 million. £250 million that we had to spend with this Brighton side. I have no idea what on earth to even begin to do. So I went in, and I knew for a fact one thing I did want was a new centre-back. I looked at a few of them, but then I saw this guy, Virgil van Dijk, 87 rated, 29 years of age, playing already at Liverpool in the Premier League, stands at 6'4". He's just an absolute monster. I look at him in real life sometimes and I just think to myself, what a defender this guy is. So, decided to pay the big bucks, £53.6 million. We got our offer accepted from Jurgen Klopp, and he came in to a office to try and negotiate a contract with us here at Brighton. But I was just kind of looking at this, and I was thinking to myself, like I said, this most likely will be our final season as Brighton manager before we move to a different league entirely, hopefully. So, in which case, I honestly don't really mind splashing out the cash because I'm looking at this thinking to myself, we're not going to be able to use it once we go. Let's just use it and get like an unbelievable side. But then the other side of this is, if we make this side really, really good to the point where it's unbeatable, then we come to face them in the Champions League at whichever club we then go to, we might put ourselves into a really big disadvantage. So there is the first signing of our big money that we had. Virgil van Dijk comes in alongside Eric Bailly, Ndombele and Martial, the 3 pre-contract signings. We now have a back two of Eric Bailly and Virgil van Dijk. If we don't win a Champions League trophy with that team on your screen previously, I will be horrified with myself. And it's about to get even better, ladies and gentlemen. This is where you're going to cast your vote with 100... Wait, actually, we had a bit more than that. I think we had about £201 million to spend. I came into this and I looked at potential midfielders. Saw Kevin De Bruyne and I thought, nah, lad, listen, 92 rated, 5-star weak foot. I have to make an offer. We have to make an offer. We negotiated £125 million with Manchester City to try and bring him over here. They're going to decide to accept that. We obviously still have to offer a contract. We then looked at Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, and the reason I did this is because he was a pain in the arse when I played against Man United, and I don't want to play against him again. And he's now 89 rated, 6'3". Kevin De Bruyne is about 5'11", so there is that little thing in terms of height, but I just think out of those two, one of them coming in, we can't afford them both, will be absolutely sensational. But then I came across this guy, Jeffrey Kondogbia, playing for Valencia, 84 rated. He's got the stats that you need in the right areas to play as a sort of defence-minded midfielder. So I came in and I was like, you know what? I'm going to actually make an offer. See what they say. 39 million. We then end up going with the 41.1 that they initially wanted. And I tell you what, the only thing that puts me off is the 2-star weak foot. But in terms of the stats, he's got everything that you would need in a holding midfielder. So I genuinely was at a crossroads. So your decision, guys, in this poll at the top right-hand side of today's video is going to be between 3 players. Those players are Kevin De Bruyne, they are Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, and they are Jeffrey Kondogbia. Cast your vote at the top right-hand side of this video right now, and we will make the signature of one of those 3 players happen in the next episode for you all to enjoy. Like I said, even though there was one game in today's episode, there's so much other things to go on about. Only the one signing right now, which stands at Virgil van Dijk, but we've got one more coming in. I'm going to be interested to see whether you guys go for, like, bargain in terms of Kondogbia, or if you just want, absolute quality in the one of Sergej Milinkovic-Savic or Kev, whichever one you want, basically. I've got one thing to show you as well. Bayern have signed Paul Pogba from Man United, so one less midfielder. So the thing is here, if we go for Milinkovic-Savic, we're going to, kind of make Man United even weaker because they've already lost Pogba. Then they might lose Milinkovic-Savic as well. So there is that to think about alongside it. But ultimately, guys, it comes down to your decision. You will decide who joins us for this upcoming season. Big transfers going on around the world of football right now. We're about to make a record signing, potentially, if you guys choose Kev or Milinkovic-Savic, in terms of this one for Brighton. And I mean, it's going to be huge. Absolutely huge. Until next time, though, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you are new around here and like what you see, the subscribe button is down below. If you did enjoy the episode, a like will be greatly appreciated. As always, thank you for your continued support on the channel. Really appreciate it as well. And I will see you all again for the next episode. Make sure you cast your vote. You do not want to miss it. Catch you all again soon, guys. Adios.